up? This is Reno.
And I'm Chris.
This is Florida versus Jersey, and you're watching Post to Post.
Let's get it!
Hello and welcome to Post to Post, the channel where we discuss all things hockey and all teams. What the heck is going on?
Hey, this is weird.
Boom! Coach fired. Boom! Coach fired.
What's going on?
Okay.
That's the fourth coach firing, and it's only November.
We're a quarter of the way through the season.
Yeah.
We've seen 4 coaches fired
Wow.
already this year. Do you remember how many coaches were fired last year?
I have no idea, actually.
I don't remember. I thought it was 1, but I could be
Oh, really?
mistaken. But anyways,
That's quite something.
this is, I mean, we're late to the game a little bit. I'm sure we're not breaking any news here. You guys probably already know this. But it was worth coming down and filming a video for because this is actually pretty big news. Don't take coaching changes lightly because they can have an absolutely insane impact on a team. Pittsburgh is the perfect example when they brought in Sullivan halfway through the season and won the cup.
Won the cup.
So this isn't, don't take this with a grain of salt. This is serious business for both these teams, Edmonton and St. Louis. So Todd McLellan was fired in Edmonton and Mike Yeo was fired in St. Louis. They've been replaced, one with maybe a long-term coach in Ken Hitchcock in Edmonton. Probably not, but at least maybe the next half a year or year after
So
this.
far, so
Who knows?
good. He's 1,000% right now.
He is, yeah.
He won his first game. It was an overtime game. That's his 824th win. He's the third highest winning coach in NHL history.
Yeah, he's no slouch.
He's good.
He's very good.
He's, 67 or 68 years old now.
Yeah,
or
he's an old
whatever,
pup.
So. But he seemed to be having a good time behind the bench last night.
Yeah, and on St. Louis's side, Berube was brought in. And he was already with the organization. He's just going to be in like an interim coach. I read that they're going to be looking to Europe for their next long-term coach. So
Oh, really?
I don't know who that's going to be. There's apparently 2 names floating around out there. I was not familiar with either of them, so I'm not exactly sure what's going on there. But if we flip back to Edmonton, they did win last night.
They did.
In overtime, if I'm not mistaken.
They did?
And so his record's pretty good so far in Edmonton.
He's doing awesome.
He switched up the lines, right
Oh,
away.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he switched up the lines, and I actually have a list of the players who got more ice time than average and players who got less than ice time.
I didn't know this.
So the players who played more than average of their minutes, where it was Brodziak, Nurse, Cassian, Draisaitl, Larson, McDavid, and Russell. The players who played less than average of their minutes is Ratty, Lucic, Meredy, I don't know how to pronounce that name, Clefbaum, and Nugent Hopkins. And he moved Lucic with Brodziak and Cassian on a line. That'd be a hard-hitting line to play against. So he really likes competitive, hard-hitting guys. So I think that actually works out pretty good for his coaching style with Edmonton. We'll see how it goes. I think this is actually a pretty good move in my opinion. I did really like Todd McLellan. I still do. If you've watched the channel for a long period of time, you know that we actually made a video. It was probably close to 2 years ago now, or a year and a half ago, about Todd McLellan becoming the head coach of Edmonton. So now we're making a video about him leaving Edmonton. So it's kind of strange to be talking about. I mean, I haven't been doing this for very long, and I'm already talking about him getting fired again. So it's a little strange, but
It is. Todd McLellan's first job was San Jose, as you would know, and the first year he coached them, they got 117 points, won the President's Trophy, and he was third in the voting for the Jack Adams. So he can coach.
He can coach, yeah.
He can coach. He had, and I think Ken Hitchcock still has, what's a very lopsided team. They've got like $27 million tied up in 3 guys.
Yeah.
And the rest of the team is making $3 million, $1 million, and less. So it's really, really off-centered. There's a not really good center of gravity there. They've got these beautiful, fantastic players, but they have after that one line or maybe 2, there's not much left. He's now, if it worked last night for him by juggling ice times and stuff, maybe that's how you do it.
Yeah, and they didn't beat no slouch of a team either. So you never know. They could be pretty competitive, and I actually do think that they will be. Anything else to say on Edmonton's side of things?
I don't think so. He has, I think he's got a team that went to the playoffs fairly recently after a long 10-year drought.
Yes.
They started getting back in the playoffs within the last little while. So he's got a team that finally is kicking into gear a little bit. They don't really have that bad a record. They're only one game below 500 right now.
Yeah, the last 10 they're 4-6-0, so
Yeah.
not
So-
the greatest in the last 10.
It's
So
not horrible.
but it's not terrible. But
Yeah, Vancouver is on a 6 or 7 game losing streak now, and
I don't know.
but anyway, I wish them all the best. I feel bad for McLellan. He'll
I
land
do-
on his feet. He'll find something.
Yeah, exactly. He will. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
On St. Louis's side of things, I don't necessarily agree with this change. I'm not a big Mike Yeo fan, but I'm not a Berube fan either.
Mhm.
So, to me, they picked, not that they picked the wrong person. They just don't have anyone to come in, I guess is the way to put it. But I don't think firing Yeo is going to save their season or change the destiny or I think their destiny is already set in stone for this season. I don't think St. Louis is going to be the same competitive team that they've been for the past 10 years.
Right.
They're clearly struggling. Jake Allen's struggling. Johnson and Net is having some bad games. They're just not gelling. There's not really a lot working in St. Louis right now. So, in my opinion, regardless of who coaches, I think this season, I don't want to call it a loss because that's not fair. We're only a quarter of a way in, and anything could happen, of course. But to me, I don't think that this change is going to significantly change the outcome of this season for St. Louis. So I would have preferred to see Yeo stay with the team throughout the entire season and then get rid of him. But I don't know.
Do you know when Yeo was hired, who he replaced?
Oh,
Ken
Hitchcock.
Hitchcock.
Yeah, Ken Hitchcock, yeah.
And Mike Yeo himself in 2018 now is being replaced by Craig Berube. But if you go back to a previous Ken Hitchcock iteration, if you go back, and I know we're back on Hitchcock for a second, but in 1996 to 2001 he coached Dallas. And then 2001 to 2006 he coached Philly. And then he and Bobby Clark were swept out. And coming into Philly to coach was John Stevens. His assistant was Craig Berube.
Yeah, and then Berube got a chance to coach full-time in Philadelphia in, I think, 13-14, and it didn't go very well at all for him.
Yeah.
So
like Hitchcock and Berube, they're like the Mark Recchi of coaches. Or they've been everywhere.
exactly.
Hitchcock, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, well, 6 if you count each time with Dallas. It's 5 different teams, 6 different coaching jobs over the time. But he has done so well. He's coached for 22 years, and he has 800-plus wins.
Yeah, so...
He's the guy to get. And now back in St. Louis, you say there's 2 Europeans they're looking at.
Yeah.
And, okay, I don't think that's a bad thing. Maybe that's something that they've identified that they want to do, and great. But I think you're right. I think St. Louis's fate is not finalized, but it's the direction. The trajectory is set.
Yeah, they have a lot of work to do, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I think if we switch back to Edmonton for just a second, if things don't change in Edmonton, I think Chiarelli he's the next to go, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You can't really move a lot of players on the team. You can move some, obviously, and things will change, and players will be dealt. But Chiarelli's had his time there, and maybe it's time for him to go. Who knows?
They turned the page in 2015. It's called the Connor McDavid era, right? I think Draisaitl joined the team maybe a year before that, something like that.
Close.
The Taylor Hall move, that obviously was a chemical thing that wasn't working well because there's obviously nothing wrong with Taylor Hall, right? So, yeah, there's just some ingredient things there that have to be fixed. Yeah.
I think this will work out well for Edmonton.
I do too.
I don't know.
I do too.
We'll see.
Hitchcock, he'd retired. He wasn't fired the last time he left the team. He retired.
Yeah.
He went into retirement.
For like the second time.
Yeah. So I'm done. I'm good. And then the phone probably rang sometime yesterday or the day before and said, "What are you doing?"
Yeah. He's probably bored.
Probably. Watching all this hockey, watching all these other guys, children behind the bench, some of them are less than half his age. Like, what's going on here? Maybe he wants to get back out there and see what he can do.
Never know.
Good luck to him.
Yeah, for sure.
And good luck to St. Louis as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Anything else to add?
I don't believe so. It's just Thanksgiving weekend in the States, and there's a few turkeys walking around, and Black Friday coming up. It's exciting.
It is exciting.
And
I can't buy anything, but it is exciting.
Black Friday. Do you know there's daytime hockey on Black Friday?
No, I did not.
You know that the Montreal Canadiens are playing the Buffalo Sabres before we start eating supper on Friday?
Well, that's not good because I'll be at work.
Well, it's too bad we don't have. Oh, I guess we do have a PVR. Too bad I'll have already watched it by the time you get home.
That's very unfortunate.
No, I won't. I'll save it for you.
All right.
All right.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. It'd be cool to get your thoughts down below in the comment section. How do you feel about this? Both firings, not just one. There's two. So there's lots to talk about. There's lots of opinions. There's no right or wrong here because we don't know what's going to happen. So we can only say what we think, and same as you.
Yeah. At least when a coach gets fired, he still gets paid.
Yeah.
Their contract is such that if I get fired from my job today, probably for a cause, like if they found I was not performing my job properly and got thrown out, I would lose my salary too.
Yes.
I'd be out on the street with nothing.
Yes.
But at least if you're a coach with 2 or 3 years left in your contract and you get fired, they still have to pay you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not totally as bad as most people getting fired.
It's very true. And
It's still
getting paid some pretty good money.
still pretty
too,
good.
So
Yeah.
they'll be okay.
Yeah.
So thanks, guys, for watching. I appreciate it. Hope you're having a good day. Hope you're watching lots of hockey tonight and tomorrow and on the weekend.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Black Friday. Share your deals with me on Twitter. Send me pictures of your TVs and your PlayStations and everything you get. I'm always jealous of people getting deals. So
And don't get trampled.
And don't get trampled. Yes, don't get trampled. Stay safe out there. All right, guys. Have a good night, and we'll see you in the next one. Adios.